Okay.
Your Honor, we have no objection. We stipulate to the exhibit.
Well, in the interest of completion, too, it's good to play the whole thing. So.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
There's Jennifer.
Going to the clinker, the big house.
I don't know if I can tell you that.
All right, so I cut out the lulls, as the judge calls it, okay? And it wouldn't be complete, Olive, without some slow-mo. Jamesifer. So she actually wasn't texting at this moment. I was wrong. She actually had her phone taken at this moment. And she's sitting there with her arms crossed. She's self-soothing right now. And Siba, no need to apologize, honey. You're fine, and I hope your husband's okay as well. This is her sobbing or sulking while they have her phone. Cops are zooming by. She's sitting there looking at the camera. She knows that the camera's on. That's why she's sitting the way she is. This was the day of the shooting, roughly 2 hours after the shooting. This is after they left the substation. Where they saw Ethan. No, we're just at lunch. We're just at lunch. But this is after they left the substation. And now their house is being raided. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. We got to pause. What is going on? Dude, I am not rewinding. I am not doing this. Who's doing this? Dude, look. I didn't do this. What's going on? This is Fox 2. What are they doing? I feel like what are they doing? This is Fox 2 Detroit. They finally muted it. They're going backwards. Maybe they're clipping. I did that while they were live. Okay, we're going to mute them and go back. Okay, so let's go back a couple seconds here. That was freaking weird.
What's your date of birth?
4178.
Okay. Were you handcuffed when they brought you out of the house?
Not, well, they handcuffed me at the front door.
Okay. Well, so being that, fine, hold on.
Okay, so he just introduced himself. He said, I'm a detective from the Oakland County Sheriff. And then he asked her date of birth. I know that this is tough to hear, so I'll try to break it down as best I can.
Does anybody told you what's going on?
I was at the substation and I saw my son and answered questions. I know what he did.
Okay. All right, so you understand, you're not in custody, you're just, right now, you need to check your house for evidence.
That's fine.
Okay. Would you be willing to sign a form? For us to check, we can go through your house.
Yeah.
Is his room far in the back? Ethan, is your son's name Ethan?
Yeah.
Okay. Is his room all the way in the back?
No, he's got, there's 2 pits on either side of that.
Okay, so he's trying to figure out which room is the shooter's. And he says, is his room all the way in the back? She says, no. He's got the 2 pits on the other side. And by pits, we saw the pictures yesterday. The 2 pigsties. Now you're going to hear why he had 2 rooms. Brace yourselves, guys. This is very telling, and I hope the jury goes back and replays this, and I hope that they can hear it because she gives us a lot of information.
Pits on either side of that.
So he has 2 bedrooms?
Yeah, because his bedroom got so out of control, he moved to the guest room, and that got out of control, and I haven't got a chance to finish it yet.
Okay, so his room got so out of control that he moved into the guest bedroom, and then that got out of control, and I haven't had a chance to clean it. So his room got so messy that instead of them making him clean it or even helping him clean it, because I know sometimes, I know my oldest son would get so overwhelmed if it got past a certain point of messiness. And if I went in there and started like sorting, getting him a starting point, he could do it. But I had to get him there because he looked at that mess and he shut down. But she's saying he moved into the guest room and he mucked that one up. And she calls them pits.
His room's all the way in the
That
back.
was mine. Me and my husband.
Okay. What's your name?
James.
Is that Ethan's dad? Biological?
Yeah.
Okay. Does he own a firearm?
Yes.
Ethan does?
No.
James.
James does.
Did you see that box that was on your bed in the back bedroom?
I haven't had a chance to go back there yet.
Okay. What's a good phone number for you?
248-760-7502.
Oh, Jennifer's digits.
Did Ethan have a phone?
He did.
What's that?
It's stored in my phone. I don't know if I died my phone's in the bumper of that police vehicle, so I can get it.
Okay. And your husband's name is James?
Yes.
James, same line?
Yes.
Who's Hazor?
Who?
Hazor? No? Okay.
Okay, so the cop said, does he own a gun? What's your husband's name? She said James, and then he asked, does he own a gun? And she said yes, and he said Ethan does, and she said no, James. And this is only 2 hours after the shooting, okay? And then there's some confusion because the gun box was located on top of the Crumbley's bed, and they were trying to figure out when Ethan got the gun. So the gun box was on top of the bed because when James went home, he got it out to look in it, apparently, and set it on top of the bed. So he's trying to ask, like, did you sleep in the bed? Because he's trying to figure out if Ethan took it out of the box.
Okay. How was your son this morning?
I went to work early, and James said we got in a fight last night. That was his grades, and they were bad. And
Okay, so he asked, how was your son this morning? Right, the phone number, I noticed that too. How was your son this morning? James said they got in a fight about his grades were bad. Now, listen what happened. This is important. So the night before, they told Ethan because he got a bad grade, no gun range, no gun, no phone, no games. This was the night before the shooting. Listen again. Listen close.
James said we got in a fight last night. That was his grades, and they were bad. And got onto him and took stuff away from him. And this morning on the way to school, James said he seemed fine. He apologized. apologized and
Okay, so we got into a fight. She says I opened up his grades. So what she did was they've talked about this thing called Power School. Power School is the online portal. So you log in to the Power School to see your kids' grades. Well, I can't imagine that Mrs. Crumbley was very dedicated to that. Just a hunch. So I'm thinking that Mrs. Crumbley was upset about something and decided to log in. And when she looked, she saw that Ethan had an E in geometry. So she says, I got onto him, stepped away from him, she says. Now, I don't know if Ethan was the one locked out. Remember, we were like, who got locked out? Because they were saying she locked him out of the house. Stepped away from him, she says, and he seemed fine this morning. He apologized. That is my neighbor's work people. Rude as fuck. Loud as hell. Love it.
it was normal. There was nothing abnormal. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Nothing abnormal. Nothing.
Is that
Nothing.
normal? Did he walk?
No, James Jones.
Oh, okay. All right. Did James hear?
He's in the back of my head. Stop there.
When did you get home from work?
The minute he told me there was an active shooter after high school and we couldn't get a hold of Ethan, I left. So I'm kind of like.
Okay, so when I found out there was an active shooter and I couldn't get a hold of Ethan. So she heard there was an active shooter and tried to get a hold of Ethan. And when she couldn't, she said she left. But she doesn't know what time it was.
I don't know what time it is right now.
Okay. So,
We went right to the substation.
all right, so you were gone this morning before Ethan left for school.
Yeah.
In Jamesville. What time did you leave?
Well, wait a minute. James took him first. I woke up.
Okay, so she says I was gone. Now she says, wait a minute. James took him first to school. Then I woke up.
Late this morning. I left after.
Okay, were you?
Did I sleep in the back bedroom?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I sleep. That's where I woke up.
Right, but.
I'm familiar with Power School too, and parents have their own login. You don't have to use your child's password. Parents get their login, kids have theirs.
So I guess it's kind of hard for me to ask you because there's a gun box on your.
Yeah, that's probably when we found out there was an active shooter. We were at school early this morning because the counselor found some drawings on paper and said it didn't seem a concern to stay at school.
Okay. She says, yeah, I found out there was an active shooter and we were at the school earlier because the teacher found some drawings on a paper and the counselor said it didn't seem a concern and to stay at school.
And then we found active shooter. James came home and he opened the gun box, said the gun's gone, and we had the bullets hidden in two separate.
Okay, she says we came home after and looked at the substation, looked at the box, and the gun was missing. And we had the bullets hidden in two separate places. Yeah, we don't know. I don't know, Kenny, when he took, that's what I'm trying to figure out. When did he take the gun? When was the last time that the Crumbleys physically saw that gun in their bedroom?
Spots and the bullets were gone, and instantly it's like, oh shit. I think that's what we do with this.
And it's instantly like, oh shit, I think my kid did this. Let's play that part again.
The bullets hidden in two separate spots, and the bullets were gone, and instantly it's like, oh shit. I think that's what we do with this. And I drove these straight. We called Logan County and told them what we thought, and they called us out to the substation. That's where we were. So we just got back from there.
Okay, so then she says we immediately called Oakland County, which James called 911, and we went to the substation. And we just got back from there. So she's acting like, so I don't know why you're here. because we've already talked to them. Check it out.
Did you guys notice the gun was missing this morning?
No.
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 So I guess explain it to me again.
Didn't notice it until we heard there was an active shooter.
Okay.
And we were just at the counselor office because Ethan was drawing we were going to do some paper. And then all of a sudden there's an active shooter. And James flew home and he's like, I had the gun hidden and I told him where I hid the bullets and they were both missing.
Okay. So we heard there was an active shooter. James flew home to check the gun. Now, when you slow this down to 0.75, listen to her again.
And we were just at the counselor office because Ethan was drawing we were going to do some paper. And then all of a sudden there was an active shooter and James flew home and he's like, I had the gun hidden and I told him where I hid the bullets and they were both missing. So
Okay, so James called her and she told James where she hid the bullets and they were missing. So she's going to tell us.
I don't know.
Sometime, I don't know. He instantly flew home to check the gun.
No, I don't know.
Well, it had to be sometime today. Did you sleep in that back bedroom?
Yeah.
So
And I woke up in there and there was nothing abnormal.
right, if the box wasn't on your bed, did you make your bed?
No.
Okay, so if the box is on your bed, so...
This is the confusion. So they were confused because the box was on the bed. They were trying to figure out if Ethan took it out of the box. But what it turns out to be is she says James got the box out to see if the gun was in it. It wasn't, and he set it on the bed.
But I'm just trying to get a time span when he could have picked up the gun.
I don't think he could have. Not this morning.
Unless, do you think, is it possible that James maybe, checked the box with a handgun and put it on the bed?
Well, yeah, I told you.
Okay.
Yeah, after we found
I
out.
guess that's the part that I was...
Yeah, after we heard there was an active shooter and after we talked to the counselor at the school today, he came here during this whole time this was going on. And that's when he noticed the gun was gone. That's when he called you guys.
Okay. What kind of images was he drawing?
Okay, so she's explaining the gun situation. Now he just asked what kind of images was he drawing? What kind of images? Check it out.
At home, I didn't look at that closely because it's on the bumper of that.
So she says, it's in my phone. I didn't look at it that closely. So she just admitted that when she was at the counseling office, she didn't look at the fucking worksheet closely that the school called her down about. Did you hear? This woman is fried. And I hope that the jury hears this. Because the audio is awful for us. I hope it's better for them. Because if they don't catch this, they could miss a lot. And she admits right here, when the gun was gone, that's when James called you guys.
Okay. What kind of images was he drawing?
In my phone, I didn't look at that closely because it's on the bumper of that.
It's on the bumper of that car.
She's going to excuse it. Watch.
Well, now that when I was at the substation and looked at them more closely, they're a little disturbing. Well, they're very disturbing because look what he just fucking did.
Wow. She says, when I was at the substation, I looked closer. So she didn't look at the worksheet closer until the active shooting happened. She's already asked for a lawyer at the substation. The substation happened first, where they saw Ethan. That already happened. And he's going to ask her about the lawyer. She already talked about a lawyer. But they weren't clear if she wanted one or if it was for Ethan because they're not under arrest yet. She sent it and showed it to coworkers, but didn't look at it closely. And then she says, when I got to the substation, I looked at it and I thought, oh, this is a little disturbing. Well, it's a lot disturbing, she says.
Well, now that when I was at the substation and looked at them more closely, they're a little disturbing. Well, they're very disturbing because look what he just fucking did.
Because look what he just fucking did.
Okay.
Sorry.
No.
I don't even know what the hell I'm thinking. I'm kind of in shock. Like, he's never been in trouble. He's never done anything. Like, he's never done anything wrong. He's a good kid.
Okay, so remember, she says that. He's never done anything wrong. He's a good kid. She's going to tell you that she was punishing him. She's lying again.
Well, we are too.
This is fucked up.
Yeah. So.
Like, my son just ruined his life. I'll probably never see him again. Like, what the fuck?
Right. How old is he?
15.
I'm sorry. No. I wouldn't.
People are going to think we're bad people. He says, no. Because she says, hang on, let me get my notes. So I think she says something about the media at some point. Let's see. I didn't look at it closely. 8, yeah, she says, we aren't bad people. Okay. And then she's going to say next, the reason why he was drawing guns. Okay, listen.
The green one?
Yeah.
So he's getting her phone right now.
What time do you think you were up at the school today?
What time were you at the school today?
The counselor, do you know what counselor it was?
Hopkins. And now that I look at him closely, this was just, we literally left the school. I went back to work and then this started happening.
I'm gonna take a picture of this, okay? Is this on homework?
It was on a math assignment that they were supposed to turn in.
He says, was this on homework? She said, this was on a math assignment he was supposed to turn in.
What did he say when you saw talking to him today with the counselor?
He said he was sorry that we lost a dog. His best friend got sent to an OCD facility treatment thing. And my mother-in-law passed away.
Okay, so he says, did Ethan say anything to you? And she goes, yeah, our dog passed away. His best friend went to an OCD treatment thing, and my mother-in-law passed away.
And he said he was dealing with a lot of stress, and he was just putting thoughts on papers.
Okay, so this is what Ethan said. He was dealing with a lot of stress, and he was putting thoughts on papers, y'all. Mic drop. Mic drop. He was putting thoughts on papers is what Ethan told his mother in the meeting at the school. She didn't look at it close, or is she lying? Because she just admitted that the gun and the thoughts won't stop and help me and blood all over, drawn all over the paper. Ethan said it was his thoughts on papers. And the school never thought maybe this kid has a weapon. He told his mother and the school that that worksheet was his thoughts on papers. He basically told them he was going to do it. Let me show you the worksheet. This is jarring to me. Oh, it makes my insides shake because this was preventable. Are you kidding me? It's awful. Here's the worksheet that Ethan said were his thoughts on paper. And mind you, all of the school personnel saw this that morning. Let that sink in for a minute. Ethan, what were you doing? Why did you draw these drawings? You know, I've just been really sad, and they were just my thoughts on papers. Was every single person in that meeting sitting there with their head up their ass? The teacher found this and acted. When the counselor heard these were his thoughts on paper, why on God's green earth was he sent back to class? They saw this and gave him 2 days to get counseling set up. This is awful. 48 hours? I'm actually floored. I mean, we had no idea what they said in that meeting. This is the closest we've gotten to hearing what was said in those meetings at the school. And it makes me sick. Okay, so he's asking about that. What was said at the meeting? Let's listen.
It was on a math assignment that they were supposed to turn in.
What did he say when you started talking to him today at with the
He
counselor?
said he was sorry that we lost a dog. His best friend got sent to an OCD facility treatment thing. And my mother-in-law passed away, and he said he was dealing with a lot of stress, and he was just putting thoughts on paper. It's the first time we've ever seen anything like this.
First time.
Never seen anything like that.
No, and he's never he's, I don't know.
Do you know that he knows how to like handle a firearm?
Yeah, because we take him to the gun range.
Okay. So you teach him about
That's our hobby, that we go to the gun range.
Okay. Do you know that he knows about guns? Yeah, that's our hobby. That's what we do.
We do.
Is that the only gun you have in the house?
Well, the one, aside from the one that he took to the school, yes. There's like BB guns, but.
Okay, so she lies. She lies. He says, are there any other guns besides the one he took to the school? She said, yeah, BB guns. I mean, right. Mandy Jo, help me. You can't get any more desperate than that. I mean, that's not even a cry for help. He straight up said, help me. And then he told the school counselor and whoever else was in that room, his parents, that these were his thoughts on paper. So he didn't feel comfortable verbalizing, help me. So he wrote it. And then when he was asked what he meant by it, he said, these are my thoughts. And a licensed school counselor didn't say, oh my God, I'm not licensed in shit. And I hear her telling this story, And I see the worksheet and I think this is more serious than something that can wait 48 hours. This is a kid who needs help today. He needs to go to inpatient today. And you know what? That's why Florida has a Baker Act. You can commit someone if they are a harm or a threat to themselves or people around them against their will. And some may not agree with it. But when someone's not in a right state of mind, they're not going to agree. Now, I don't know about being a 15-year-old, but if you say these are my thoughts on paper and it says help me with guns and blood and a dead person, I don't know. This is what his mother's saying. He wanted to be a video game designer. So maybe that's how Ethan explained it away prior. Let's listen.
And then I think it was a 45 caliber that was at the...
So he's calling her out on the lie.
That was a 9mm.
The 9?
I should have done.
Remember how she played dumb? Shannon was like, Jennifer had to have him load the gun. Jennifer had to do this. Jennifer had to do that. She had to have her husband do everything. She's not comfortable with it. Blah, 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 blah. But now she's like, oh, that's a 9mm. And now then she's going to back up because she realizes she's giving herself away. Then she goes, it's a SIG something.
But you don't have it, like,
There's,
what is it? Block?
no, it's a SIG something,
Okay. The SIG.
which we just got on fucking Sunday. Friday.
We just fucking got it. She's talking about the gun. Always late, you got to listen to yesterday's testimony. The dean testified why they didn't deem him a threat. They're responsible too. And there's plenty of civil lawsuits against the Crumbleys and the school by the victims' families. Absolutely. She said, we just fucking got it Sunday. I mean, Friday.
We took them to the gun range, they didn't.
Oh, you just bought it?
Yeah, I mean, we've had another one for a long time.
Okay. What's the other one?
It's my husband knows, I don't know.
You don't know.
It's a 22, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then anyone else? And we,
Has he been, like, talking to you about it? I mean, so he has bad grades, but I mean...
they're not horrible, we just have to notice his geometry got to an E. I mean, I'm not a math person, I just told him to get a D minus on math.
Right.
And then, I looked on his color school last night, and I saw an E, and I said, third grade, get brought back up.
Okay, so let me back up. It's hard to, I know it's not spot on, okay? So he's like, has he been talking to you about anything?
Has he been, talking to you about it? I mean, so he has bad grades.
And he's like, so he had bad grades. So now she's going to tell you about how she opened up Power School and saw an E and she got set off. So who thinks, raise your hand if you think Jennifer Crumbley was drunk, opened up Power School, saw an E, and was pissed because she said if he gets a D minus, she's happy.
I mean, they're not horrible, we just have to notice his geometry got to an E. I mean, I'm not a math person, I just told him to get a D minus on math.
Right.
And then, I looked on his color school last night, and I saw an E, and I said, third grade, get brought back up. There's no gun range, there's no phone, there's no nothing. Those are two trigger points.
All right, there we go. She just told us why her son did it. She just told us why her son did it. I told him until he gets that grade brought up, there's no gun range and there's no phone. And those are his 2 trigger points. There we go. She just told you why he did it. No, it goes from D to E. That's not abnormal. She's saying a D- she's happy with, because that's technically passing. An E is failing, right? So E's, we have E's in Michigan. Thank you, Time for Truth. I'm wondering why this is my thing. I would think that Ethan's lawyers would have played this clip and the video of him saying, "These are my thoughts on paper," and at least tried to fight. They threw Ethan to the wolves, in my opinion. How would Ethan have not had a defense as a 15-year-old boy? What were those lawyers thinking? Did the lawyers for Ethan even listen to this? How can they put this boy away for life when we have this evidence? Think about that. Did his lawyers even watch this? Because I would have showed the worksheet and said, my client said everything but help me. Everything but help me. But he wrote it and he told these professionals who are mandatory reporters that those were his thoughts on papers. Forget about the E. What's going on here is way more important. We have a boy who was thrown away for life when he said, "Help me," 2 hours before the shooting.
I mean, they're not horrible. We just have to notice his geometry got to an E. I mean, I'm not a math person. I just told him to get a D- on math.
Right.
And then, I looked on his color school last night and I saw an E and I said, "So you're great." It brought back up. There's no gun range, there's no phone, there's no nothing. I looked at those are 2 trigger points. And then he was mad last night, this morning he seemed fine.
Okay.
He was mad last night, but this morning he seemed fine. Bitch, you were sleeping while James took him to school. How do you fucking know he was fine? This is serious. We have 4 dead children and many, many traumatized children. Why didn't Ethan's lawyers fight? Tell me. What's going on here in the state of Michigan?
Not the first time he's been in trouble for straight.
Right.
Not the first time he's been in trouble, but she just said he was a good kid. She's a liar.
Okay.
I mean, it's like he was a good kid.
Right.
Like, he just doesn't do anything. He, stays at the house, and I don't know. He loves his animals, and I never would have.
Well, I'm not.
You see what she said about the animals? What? Why would she even bring that up? Why would she say he's kind to the animals? Does she know about the fucking birds? I gotta wonder if this bitch found some evidence that he was hurting animals. Listen again.
Well, he was a good kid.
Right.
Like, he just doesn't do anything. He, stays at the house, and I don't know. He loves his animals. And
He's a good kid. He doesn't do anything. He just stays at the house. He loves his animals. What?
I never would have.
Well, I'm not, I mean, this is I don't think he's a bad kid. I think he might have been upset about something today.
She laughs. He goes, I don't think he's a bad kid. I think he got upset about something today. And she laughs. This is why Karen McDonald wanted the jury to watch this entire video. Think about the parents of the 4 kids that are dead. I cannot.
I don't think he's a bad kid. I think he might have been upset about something today. I'm not
even have any mental issues. Like he's never exerted any type of anger. He's never exerted anything. Like he's just like one of those mellow, laid back kids.
Liar, you just said his 2 trigger points were the phone and the gun range. Kids who are mellow don't have trigger points. She's a liar.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah, the jury has this. Yeah, the jury has this. I just hope that they scrutinize it. Because this is horrible. Horrible.
We've always had an open and help talk about stuff. Like, I don't get it.
Right.
I don't get what happened.
Okay. Right. Well, I mean,
The jury will be able to review all the evidence once they go into deliberation. So my hope is that they review this.
like you said, what grade was he in there?
Oh, it makes me so mad.
They're not going to release his name on the news, are
They're not going to use my name on the news, are they? This is her concern. Dude, guilty. I say give her the max 60 years. And no, I slowed it down so we can understand it.
They're not going to release his name on the news, are they?
They're not going to release his name on the news, are they? That's what she's worried about.
Yeah, probably, it won't be for a while, but, I mean, this is, I'm sure your neighbors are already talking.
Right.
You're,
I know.
you know, I mean,
I got handcuffed outside my front door.
He's like, I'm sure your neighbors are already talking. And she's like, I know. I got handcuffed outside my front door.
That was great.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I get so angry. This makes me so... Crumbley. Crumbley. Wow.
You gotta go over.
Hey, Alex.
Non-critical condition. And then there's 7 injured. I believe one of them was a teacher. Teacher is critical. Do you know which teacher he was having a problem with? Do you know who he was having a problem with? Well, I mean, like,
Okay, so this is interesting to note. Okay. At 13:06, she asks if their name is going to be on the news. And then now she starts crying because now it's sunk in that her appearance is going to the tubes, right? So now she starts crying.
like his grades.
He was supposed to be in Spanish class, was her answer. But now she's crying because her name's going to be out there. She didn't cry before this.
And the teacher last year, I didn't remember her name.
Was it the same school even?
Yeah.
She can't remember the teacher's name.
Jennifer. If I could give you, when you take a second, why don't you take a second?
Why don't you take a second?
Did you ever complain about anybody in school?
Did he ever complain about anybody in school?
Bullied?
Being bullied?
Did he have friends?
No, with one best friend he had was sent not only to an OCD treatment facility in Wisconsin out of the blue, and that was like his best friend. And so he didn't really have anybody outside of that. So
Okay, so he had nobody outside of the friend that went to OCD treatment in Wisconsin. She admits that he had no one outside of that.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay. If you can sign this for your house,
If you can sign this for your house, so now they're going to raid her house.
go in, and I would like to that unbox. See if any other boxes are missing.
My husband also was
Does he? Okay. I'll go talk to him.
I have a cigarette.
Can I have a cigarette?
No, my husband's got it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe a jacket.
Yes.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll this window up again.
No, I don't want the EPA possible. Okay. I just really want a cigarette. Okay. No, I didn't really smoke.
So she's asked for a cigarette. Now she's on her phone. I think we can fast forward to where she answers the phone. Hold on. Someone calls her and I think she says, "Hi, Ken," or some shit. Hang on. 1836. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Ken. Harold. I can't talk to you here about anyway. It's our national news.
So she's like, "Hey, Ken, I can't talk about anything. It's like national news."
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, we're going to fast forward to... I don't think she talks. Oh, wait. Yeah, she talks a little bit right here. Oh, that's just the radio. Okay, we're going to skip forward to where the cop says, you guys, this is going to take a while. Why don't you go get a coffee or something? Because they want to do a house search. Here we go.
So, this might take a little while. But what I'm going to do, I didn't realize you had already talked to a sergeant earlier. So, with all the chaos going on, it was a little bit understanding on everybody's part. So what I'm gonna do is, I can't technically let you go back in the house because they wanna do a search warrant. So, what I can do is if you guys wanna go get a cup of coffee, go get a drink, leave, search.
He says if you guys want to go get a coffee or a drink.
Brian said he will call you as soon as the search warrant is done on your house. But I can't let you go back in right now. So I don't know, that's what Detective Stoyak's also calling your husband. I don't know, do you have your car? No? So you don't keep guns in the car? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you want to think about it for a second, or wait until your husband, or, I mean, what do you?
I need to get my car keys. I don't know. I mean, the whole fucking neighborhood probably thinks like we're monsters.
Oh, that's why I'm gonna kind of get you out
The
of
whole
here.
fucking town probably thinks we're monsters.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Is that okay? Alright, so give us just a minute.
I need
A jacket.
I
Yeah.
don't care about Jack. I got hoodies in my car. I need like a charger for batteries.
Okay. Get a charger.
She needs her phone charger.
I don't know if I took it in with me or not. It'd be plugged in if I didn't.
Okay. So we'll just have a guy go in with you to make sure everything's cool and then Sergeant Brown will call you.
She mentions Ethan's cat. Listen.
The one cat, there's two cats, but they don't get out. 'Cause-
I didn't see it.
Well, you're not gonna see one. One's kind of a kitten and that's my son's cat.
Okay.
The one being asked me to take care of it. But
Okay.
I'm not
That's my son's cat. That's one thing he asked me was to take care of it.
gonna be seeing him. I don't even know.
Well, he's at Children's Village, so.
Yeah,
I know, but.
I think he's responsible for family's work site there, and
Yeah.
that ultimately looks back on us because here we are.
She said he's responsible, but it ultimately looks bad on us because here we are. No, lady. He's 15.
See, I didn't know that you had asked for an attorney either.
Yeah.
Do you want an attorney just for your son, or?
I just don't, I work for a company that has attorneys and was there when I rushed out and he said, don't talk to anybody with an attorney present, so he texted and I was there, so I don't even know, this is something you,
Alright. Yeah, why don't you come out and we'll, I'm gonna let you make the decision.
yeah, I think.
All right. That was it. So if you're a jury member and you hear that, what are you thinking? What in the world are you thinking? Because I'm thinking this lady and the school both failed his ass. We're back in the courtroom, but there is no audio yet. They should be back. It's 1:45. That was perfect timing. Perfect timing. Hope you guys got something out of that. I don't think he had to pull her away from Ethan.